Welcome to Dead Good Book Reviews. I'm Judith, and today I'm bringing you my February book haul. I've now filmed 3 videos. I filmed a lot of this 3 times, so excuse me if this comes up a little brusque, but I am ill. I have a cold, so please ignore my voice, which is definitely on its last legs at this point. Second of all, a good disclaimer for this video, I do put it in the descriptions of most things. Some of these books were sent to me. I'm not paid to review them, I'm not paid to talk about them, but they are sent to me for free. All opinions are nevertheless my own. Do you get it? I'm shifting the format a little bit. We're going to do the TBR is let's look up the books online, let's see what we think about them, let's have some first impressions. The wrap-up is what did I actually think about these books? Were they good? Weren't they? What did I like about them? The haul is going to be a bit more of a quick bonus video. I'm going to try and whiz through these as quickly as possible, partly because it makes my life a lot easier, and also because there's absolutely no reason you should hear me say the same thing about a book 3 times. So if any of these books do interest you, if you want to find out a bit more about them, they will be linked in the description below. They are affiliate links. I make a tiny bit of money off them, but it is negligible, and you can also choose not to shop with them. You can Google them of your own accord. And if you do want to hear more about my first impressions of them, then subscribe, because I will talk about them in a TBR at some point. It was my birthday in February. I got some books for my birthday, which is my favourite thing to receive for my birthday, as you would suspect. I got The Sleeper and the Spindle, which is by Neil Gaiman, illustrated by Chris Riddell. It's absolutely stunningly beautiful. You can check this out on my Bookstagram, linked below. It's just absolutely beautiful. I'm very excited. Every Heart to Away by Shannon Maguire, which I've read before. This is the first book in the Wayward Children series. It's absolutely wonderful. Little novellas. If you can pick these up, I really suggest you do. I know they're expensive for novellas, but either splurge, treat yourself, ask for it as a gift, as I did, or check out your library, because I really think these are worth reading. The last book I got for my wife, this is on my March TBR. This is Supernova by Marissa Mayer. This is the 3rd book in the Renegade series. I'm really excited to read this. I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited to read it in March. It's just going to be really good. Superheroes. Another book I got for my birthday was The Tiger at Midnight by Swati Teerdala. I'm butchering that, I apologise. This is YA fantasy. It's just been on my Amazon wishlist for some time, and my in-laws were kind enough to provide it for me. Looking forward to reading this probably in April. And last for my brother, a book that I secretly don't tell him, but I have already read this. This is Welcome to Night Vale. This is the book of the podcast, or inspired by the podcast, by the people who created the podcast. I'm not sure. I don't listen to the podcast, but I have read this book and I think it's really good fun. And I can't speak to how much it relates to the podcast. I've said podcast too many times, but it's a weird and wacky fun time book. The last of the books added to my own TBR I have already read. This is Come Tumbling Down. This is another book by Shannon Maguire, another book in the Wayward Children series. This came out in February and my pre-order came through. This is just an absolutely amazing novella. I've already read this. If you want to cry forever, this series is the way to go. I mean, who doesn't want to cry forever? Right, let's blast through review copies that I received this month. I got no physical review copies. None whatsoever, which is unusual, and I'm starting to worry that I fell off some lists. But also a lot of stuff that was being published this month I just wasn't interested in, and I'm so aware of getting my TBR down because it's feeling a little bit overwhelming that I was very well behaved about what I requested. That being said, let's move on to NetGalley. So I'll put the covers up on screen. I have Night of the Dragon by Julie Kagawa. This is out in April. Sword and Stars by Corey McCarthy and Amy Rose Capetta. This is the 2nd book in their Queer Arthurian series. Girl in the Stars by Mark Lawrence, which is the 1st book in a new series set in the same world as Red Sister, Books the Ancestor. Goldilocks by Laura Lamb, that's out soon. Looking forward to reading that one. Some sci-fi. I don't have a huge amount of sci-fi on my lists currently, so that'll be good fun. Next I have The 7 Endless Forest by April Chalk. This is the author of The Boneless Mercies, which I read last year and wasn't a huge fan of. I just thought it was a bit lackluster, but this book sounds fairly interesting. It's got Plague, which is a little bit topical at the moment. We've got wolf priests. I mean, it could be great. It could be tolerable. This isn't out until June, so it'll be in my May TBR. So again, subscribe. You will hear about it then. Next I have the much anticipated Court of Miracles by Kester Grant. If you've been on book Twitter recently or Bookstagram, you will have seen this everywhere. This is an alternative French Revolution. I think it's a retelling of Les Mis. I have a suspicion. I have a feeling, my kind of first gut impulse is that this is going to be very Caraval, a lot of hype for a little bit of a lackluster book. Yeah, not sure, but going in with an open mind. That'll be on my May TBR because that's not out till June. Next, I am incredibly excited to announce that I will be reading The Empire of Gold. This is the 3rd book in the Daevabad trilogy. I read and loved the first 2 books and can't quite believe that my NetGalley wish for the 3rd one got granted. Somebody was looking out for me this month. Maybe that was, if I believed in karma, that would be like the karmic balance would be me having this terrible cold for a week. No, I'm thrilled and thrilled to be reading it. That will be in May. If I can, I will try and reread them because they are very chunky, very hefty books, and it would probably be good to have an idea of what's going on. And last, I'm very glad that I checked my NetGalley before I filmed this because I have one more book to add to my book haul. I have Feathertide by Beth Cartwright. This is out at the end of July, so wait for my June TBR to hear more about that one. 13 books, one of which I have already read. 12 books added to my TBR. I read 18 books this month. Admittedly, one of them was that. I can't do the maths of that, but basically, I think I reduced my TBR this month. Yes, this was just a quick, whizzy 10-minute video to go through what I received so that you can see what's going to be coming up in future videos. I hope you enjoyed it. If you liked this, if you like this kind of like quick look through, do comment below and let me know. If you absolutely hate it and you'd rather I sat here and like googled all the books, also let me know that because I could do that. It would just be more time on my part. Or if you have any other ideas about how I can not say the same thing 3 times every month, that would be useful as well. Also, if you haven't already, please do subscribe. It helps me out and it helps me know that you want this kind of content. And you can also follow me on all of my socials. They are linked in the description below. That's all from me, and I will see you in the next one.